Welcome back to Nunawading. It's Champions Cup Sunday, grand final day here at the Graveyard. Coming up next on Court 1, you've got the Under-15 Boys Grand Final, which sees Berwick College taking on Rowville Secondary College. Jack Thornton alongside me, Tony White. And Tony, we saw a great game to kick us off on this big grand final Sunday. What can we expect to see from this one? Two teams which are traditionally very classy basketball programs. You know, we expect the traditional excellence from both of these teams. So what can we expect to see in this game?
Well, just physically looking at the two sides now, it looks like Rowville has the taller team and has the size advantage over Berwick College here. And seeing the warm-up, look, it's going to be a very action-packed. There's some athletes on both these sides here that can get up and down the court by the looks of it. So, look, I think it comes down to a size advantage. I think Rowville's going to have that covered. They also have a much more bigger, deeper squad than what Berwick do. So that'll be interesting to see how many different players that they play through their court as well.
Absolutely, and now for both teams, they've obviously got a lot of representation across Vic Metro programs and elite level programs in their sides on the day. Is there anything that you would expect to see from these teams in terms of style of play that would line up with what we expect from these high-level programs?
Look, I think it's going to be a slingshot style basketball. I think it's going to be up and down the court very, very quickly. A lot of active feet as well. I think the sliding defense from these two sides will be really good to see. Obviously, as they progress higher into the programs throughout Basketball Victoria, that elite level coaching gets a little bit more intense, and defense is something that is very strongly pushed at these younger ages, because we all know they all like to get out and score, but trying to stop the team scoring the other end is a huge point of it as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we go from there.
Not far from a tip now. Just get those lineups, the starters for you, just in a moment's time. We're glad you're here with us for this championship, or Champions Cup, I beg your pardon, Sunday. If you're in the area, it's a great day out, but it's an even better day in here inside the Graveyard with some hot action, one great game already today, and we're just about set to go for the second on the day. As we'll get those lineups in just a moment's time.
Yeah, so for Rowville, we've got the starting lineup of Ben Ware Drakeford, Joe Ivey Jr., Colin Tian, Caleb Lamanto, and Riley Cairns. And across for Berwick, we have Connor McCormack, Oliver Vandenbrink, Josh Slater, Logan Stocks, and also Caden Johnston. The tip-off goes the way of Rowville. Tian has a ball heading duty early on, kicks to the head to Ware Drakeford. He's defended well there, actively across to Joe Ivey Jr. He kicks it back out to Tian. Nice little through the legs dribble. Pull up two-pointer is no good. Rebound there taken away by Vandenbrink. Across to Slater. Three-point attempt early. It's a high one off the glass there from Connor McCormack. Wasn't great. Very nice quick out and transition with the assist there coming from Ware Drakeford. 2 points off to Riley Cairns.
Yeah, we saw this earlier today, that both teams trying to feel themselves out in the first couple of minutes of play and get those early nerves out. Big crowd in, and we'd expect the crowd just to continue to build over the course of the day. I reckon that was pretty close to a hook, but indeed it was not. And it's going to be Logan Stocks going to the line. Shoot a couple of early ones for Berwick, but as we say, the team's just shaking out those early nerves, and it's good to see Rowville just getting together at mid-court and having a conversation about where they see things at the moment, and you'd expect that to be a staple of their team over the course of the game.
So Logan Stocks makes the first. Second attempt is good, so scores locked back up here. That foul was on Riley Cairns, so he's first for the day. Lamanto brings the ball up the court. Off to Tian. Double teamed instantly here. Drake Wayford kicks it across to Ivy Jones Jr. Tries to step through. It's not there. Good defense there by Berwick, and that it caused the missed shot. The kick ahead pass out across to Johnston. He gets the offensive board and back in for the 2 points. Caden Johnston. So Berwick take the lead 4-2.
Nice finish, and offensively, you have to like the intent that Berwick are showing early, willing to get inside and do the dirty work in the trenches.
So Ivy Jones off to Lamanto, behind the back dribble, but he's, nice active hands there by Josh Slater, causes the strip, and the ball goes out of bounds. So the defence has been on here for Berwick early on.
Yeah, really active on both ends at the moment. Berwick, if this is anything to go by over the course of this game, it's going to be a nice tight affair.
Where Drakeford now has it, nice inside pass, up with the 2-point attempt, is unsuccessful there by Riley Cairns, but he will go to the line for 2.
I should expect with a day which, I mean, last year, 12 months ago, Rowville dominated 6 out of the 7 titles on offer. They got the win, but today not so much. But I should sort of expect quite a big Rowville following that's out here. The stands just off to our right, packed full of the brown and blue.
So Riley Cairns makes 1 of 2. Vandenbrink brings the ball over mid-court, kicks it ahead here to Stocks. Stocks back out. Johnston now finds his way to the basket but misses the 2-point open layup. Cairns with the rebound, kicks it ahead to Tian, who gets the 2 points to drop. Sorry, that was Limanto. So Limanto defending McCormack. Off to Slater. Slater to Stocks. Stocks is a deep 3-point attempt. He's no good. Drake Wareford with the rebound. Drives hard with a nice little Euro step. Gets up. The 2 points can't fall. Ivy Johnson can't secure the offensive rebound. Kicks it ahead there, and 2 points fall. Plus the foul will go to Caden Johnson. So this ball is pinging up and down the court very quickly.
Yeah, speed thrills at the moment for both of these teams. Willing to get out in the open court and get from end to end. Bless you. As it's a hot start early. 2.5 gone in the opening stanza. No good from the line was Johnston. Berwick will resume once again. Berwick playing in their away whites to the left of your screen. Kick out pass. Here goes Vandenbrink. No good on 3, but rebound was gobbled gratefully by, I think that was Riley Cairns in there. Or Carnes, I beg your pardon. Gobbled it up and then got wrapped up, so a foul will go against
Logan Stocks.
Stocks from Berwick.
So Caleb Lamanto with the ball handling duties kicks it off to Ware Drakeford. Ben Ware Drakeford drives hard to the bus, kicks out. Tian in the corner, can't hit the 3. Defensive rebound there by Slater, kicks it ahead to Johnston. Off to McCormick, back to Slater. Calls across Vandenbrink now. Johnston at the top of the 3-point arc. Kicks it across here. Back to Slater. Josh Slater with the 3-point attempt is long, and the rebound is taken there by Drake Wareford. He kicks it ahead to Joe Ivy Jr. Back to Drake Wareford. Nice spin move up and under for the 2 points. Great move there done by Ben Ware Drakeford.
Yeah, really nice finish in traffic. That's what we've come to know from Ben Ware Drakeford over the course of his very young career. As nice bit of defensive active hands from Joe Ivy. On doing it on both sides. Rowville is where Drakeford tried to go to the basket. Like I was saying, where Drakeford, someone that, you know, over the course of his very young career over at Dandenong, he's been sensational in the big games. Like, whether it's been at the Classic, whether it's been on this stage here in Champions Cup, whether it's just been on the week-to-week for Rowville, like, he's been such an important player for all the programs he's been a part of, and, you know, that's no exception so far early in this one. 2 early points on and 3 rebounds, and heading to the line to try and make it his 3rd and 4th.
So he nails the first attempt there. Takes Rowville out to an 8-6 lead. 1 to come. Second attempt unsuccessful. Josh Slater now has it for Berwick. Over to Vandenbrink. Inside ball to Johnston with a nice cut. Gets the friendly roll. 2 points. Scores all tied up again here.
Nice speed cut there to get inside. And great job by Vandenbrink to just be able to find the open man on the dive.
Tian, I thought with the push off there, was let go. Gets the 2 points to fall. Stocks off Now to Johnston. Johnston across to Slater. Slater squares the hips for the three-point bomb. Doesn't hit. Joe Ivey gets the rebound. Back to Lamanto now to bring it up over midcourt.
Probably warning signs at the moment if you're Rowville that have been allowing Slater to get so much open time and space on the three-point line. Can be quite a prolific three-point scorer when he gets going. He's probably the last person I'd be leaving wide open in that situation.
Yeah, the Rowville coach wasn't overly happy with that defensive set there, so Logan Stocks is going to the line for 2 here. First attempt is good. Second attempt is good as well, so he takes teams to 4 points on the night so far, 3 rebounds. Early start in this first quarter. Lamanto kicks it across to Ware Drayford. Across to Ivy in the corner for the
Big
three.
fella.
It's a nice 3-2, nice stroke.
Take him to the promised land. Big fella, wide open corner 3. If you don't mind.
Vandenbrink now kicks it across here to Turkin. Back to Stocks here. Nice spin move, gets up and under. Can't get it to fall though. Where Drayford kicks it ahead there to Tian. Reverse layup doesn't fall. Lamanto flies in, keeps the ball active. Where Drayford from the three-point line, in and out off the backboard. Can't get it to go. Turkan now for Berwick, bringing it back over the midcourt.
Starting to get busy, Ben.
Josh Slater again. Plenty of space has been given. He goes for the inside ball, but it's too long there for Vandenbrink, and that goes out of court. It will be a Rowville ball.
Berwick probably started the hotter of the two, but Rowville have just kind of tilted the ledger back in their favour. It's holding this slender three-point advantage.
Where Drakeford now stops on a dime. Good defence there by Vandenbrink. He's back there to Tian. Now over to Douglas. Goes across, back to Tian now. Calls for a cut. Ivy sets a nice screen. Tian's been fouled on the three-point attempt. No, it's a 2-point, sorry. No, it was 3.
It's just needless to give up a foul on a three-point shooter in that context. 4 on the shot clock. And trying to heave one up late, falling off balance. It's just needless to give away a foul on a three-point shot, especially when Rowville had a pretty empty half-court set to that point. They were very stuck on that right-hand side of the floor and not able to get the ball side to side and get an open look.
That's the first on Josh Slater, 4th team foul.
Just a total bailout.
Tian, 1 from 2 so far. 1 to come. Colin Tian goes 1 from 3. And that'll be a Berwick ball.
Yeah, don't want to give teams too many opportunities to shoot 3 from the line, but in the context, it's probably not the worst result that they could have had there.
Turkan now for Berwick College brings the ball over half court. Across to Vandenbrink. Back to Turkan. Stocks.
Nice.
Forces his way to the basket. 2 doesn't fall, but he will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, just froze the defender on that little in and out dribble and managed to get that semi-open lane to try and drive himself into that little split seam area.
And that is Blake Douglas's 2nd personal foul, 4th team foul. 1:36 remaining in the quarter. But Logan Stocks' first attempt unsuccessful. Second attempt is good. Takes him to 5 points so far in this first quarter to go along with 4 rebounds.
A really, really strong start for him. Just getting very busy.
So Ben Ware, Drakeford. Retreat dribble, drives hard at the basket, jump stop. Inside pass isn't effective, and it is gone. 3 seconds in the key. It'll be turnover here, so good defensive set there from Berwick.
Yeah, just did a really good job of finding space in there, but just needed to clear himself a touch earlier, get himself outside the paint, and he probably found himself in seat 1A on the plane. Didn't know how he got himself there.
Inside ball is turned over here, taken away by Ivkovic. He kicks it ahead. Back to Ivkovic. Inside ball, and that 2 points is too easy there for Blake Douglas. Rowville out to a 16-11 lead.
Yeah, super finish in there. A lot of traffic, a lot of hands around.
Turkan has it now, off to Vandenbrink. Back to Stocks. Stocks pulls up to the 3, and it's a nice stroke too. Logan Stocks takes him to 8 points in the first quarter.
He told him about it too. Just you can't give a player like Logan Stocks that much time and space.
Where Drakeford with a very nice dribble move through the traffic there. Finishes with 2 more.
Big time players making big time plays at the moment. We're only in the first quarter, just a tick under 15 seconds to go.
Well done there by Kobe Miller. Logan Stocks got the cut on him, but he just kept involved and got back into effect the turnover.
I'd like to see them. They're going to call a timeout? No. I wouldn't mind seeing them try and get Stocks off like a pick-the-picker action. He might get to the basket here.
Been defended well there by Carnes. They go to him though here. As the shot clock rides, game clock rides down, kicks it out for Josh Slater, turns the ball over with the no-look pass. He's not happy with himself there, Logan Stocks.
Yeah, I saw what they were trying to do. They're trying to get Stocks inside to the basket, but...
Ben Ware Drakeford from three-quarter court, unsuccessful that last heave. Quarter time, we have Rowville leading 18, Berwick College 14.
I think both teams getting a pass mark in that first quarter. It's a pretty high-scoring affair. We obviously know that it can be tricky for teams in this environment where, you know, they've got a big crowd in, music playing, you got the intros and everything that throws you out of routine from before the game, but both teams have come in and had a reasonably high-scoring first quarter. It's been Stocks and Ware Drakeford, kind of as you'd expect, that have done the damage, but it's kind of been by committee for Rowville that has them in the lead at the moment. Where Drakeford, Carnes and Tian have all had multiple scores. You just think that you see those big names at the top of the score sheet of Stocks and Ware Drakeford, and you'd have to think that both huddles, as you go into this quarter-time break, would be trying to plan around how you can stop those 2 main men for both Berwick and Rowville Secondary.
Yeah, look, Berwick College not afraid to shoot the ball. 4 of 13 from the field so far. 31% not ideal, but also from the 3-point land, 1 of 6. So they're happy to heave the ball up at the moment. Whereas Rowville taking a more considered shooting approach. 7 of 15 from the field so far, and just 4 attempts from 3 and connecting on 1 of those. So look, it is very even across both all the stats there. Rebounds, Berwick leading 10-9. Blocks 1 apiece, assists 3 apiece. Turnovers 3 to Berwick College, so that's just a little bit of tidy up there. So look, it is a very even scorecard on the stat sheet and very even scorecard here on the scoreboard.
Yeah, biggest one standing out to me, 6 individual scorers for Rowville Secondary in that first period. Only the 2 for Berwick. So if you're Rowville, you've certainly circled Caden Johnson and Logan Stocks. It's priority 1A and 1B. In terms of stopping it, you dry their scoring up and you're probably in a pretty good place. In terms of Berwick's side of things, you'd have to think there's a few more on the list that you'd kind of be looking to shut down. It's hard to stop as a coach when you're trying to stop people doing it by committee. It makes it very tough.
Yeah, Logan Stocks definitely showed an ability there to find his way through traffic and get himself to the basket when needed. So he'll be definitely one they need to watch. Berwick will have possession here to start this second quarter. Turkan brings the ball in there to Vandenkirk. Across to Johnston. Back to Turkan. Kicks it out to Vandenkirk. He goes from 3-point land. Misses everything there. So really good defense by Tian there. Colin Tian made sure he had a hand in his face the whole time.
I think Vandenbrink just looks like a basketballer, doesn't he? long whippity type player.
So he comes to the bench straight away after that three-point attempt.
I think that one was charged up before he had that attempt.
So Ivkovic now has the ball to Rowville. Nice spin move inside. Dishes it off. Great block on there from Caden Johnson.
A lot of body contact. A lot of hands just poking in everywhere. And
the foul's going to be on 21, was it? No, 31, sorry. Kale Licky. That's his first personal. Takan now off to Stocks. Across here to Allott. Back inside to Stocks, who gets the 2 points to fall.
Stocks once again inside. And Berwick just switching off on the defensive end. D-Trans poor there.
Colin Tian calls for the screen. Gets it, kicks it back out now. Ivkovic drives hard at the basket. Nice step through. Thought it was a lot of contact. Ref let it go. Offensive board and 2 points there goes to Kobe Miller.
Defended that really well in the first instance of the drive, and lovely active hands from Berwick, but just gave up on the second attempt. It just fell straight in the hands of the Rowville player, who was able to finish pretty convincingly, I beg your pardon, through no great pressure whatsoever.
So the foul's going to be on Colin Tian there. And it's going to go to Caden Johnson. We'll go to the line. But Johnson had 6 points in the first quarter to go with 2 rebounds. First free throw attempt unsuccessful. Doesn't get the friendly bounce.
Rowville coach screaming for Colin Tian to get involved.
Second attempt is good there for Caden Johnson. Rowville now bring the ball up the court through Ivkovic. Off to Tian. Gets a nice screen there from Miller. Out to Carnes. Carnes' 3-point is very, very long there. Kicked ahead now, Caden Johnson. Off to Logan Stocks. They're outnumbered here, and that's going to be called a travelling violation. Turnover.
Pretty unorthodox footwork there from Stocks. He thought he had his feet set behind the line, but then just tried to shuffle him back to make sure it was a 3-point attempt. It's a coach killer. The long 2 is an absolute coach killer, I would say. If you took a survey of most coaches around the state, it would be something that no one's really a fan of.
Colin Tian now works his way in through traffic, blocked by Caden Johnson. Tian keeps it alive though, out to Ivkovic. Ivkovic pulls up for the nice little 2-point shot.
And warning signs if you're Berwick. That's 2 times now in the last couple of minutes that they've given up pretty basic second chance opportunities.
Logan Stocks now comes to the top, back to Driop. Driop, nice little crossover, goes for the 2-point long floater, doesn't go. Trying to keep the ball alive there with Berwick, and it will come off a Rowville Berwick ball. Rowville coach is very animated here as they make some changes with Ivy Jr. and Lamarto coming in. Sitting down will be Licky and also Carnes. Caden Johnson now has it at the top of the arc. Drives hard at the basket. Pulls up, 2-point attempt unsuccessful, comes off Miller. Ivkovic now kicks it across to Lamanto. Lamanto pushes the pace. Sorry, it's Tian. Tian, nice little hesitation, tries to step through and will get the foul. Going to go on number 21.
I think that one went against 23. I think that was Logan Stocks.
23, okay. Rowville have the ball now. Ivkovic, back to Tian. Inside there to Ivy Jr. Back out to Tian. Nice little hesitation step. Can't get the floater to fall. Caden Johnson now has the ball. Kicks ahead here to Stocks. Stocks first to Ivy. Takes it at Ivy there and gets the left-handed up scoop roll.
Recognised he had the pace advantage there. Stocks and was just able to get onto his left hand. Nice little finish underneath the arm of Ivy.
Ivy Jr. with the 3-point goes up and comes off the back island. Long rebound there out of Stocks. Stocks now 3-on-1. Kicks it out there to McCormick. McCormick, nice step through there with a great layup. 2 points. All of a sudden, Berwick down by 1.
Found space there where no one else could. It was a great step through. McCormack able to just get to the hole and finish. Under no great pressure in the end.
Tian kicks it back out to Ivkovic. Good defence there by Dreop. Now it's out to Ivy Jr. He scored a 3 from there early, but decides to drive in the basket this time. 3-on-1, put up the shot, was no good. Kicks it ahead now to McCormick. McCormick's 2-point attempt, no good, but will go to the line for 2 with the foul on Lamanto.
Yeah, credit's got to go on that defensive phase there. Diop was sensational with his active hands, and that really generated the Berwick offense going the other direction. Rowville are going to have a chat, but Berwick just doing the job now on the defensive end. It's really been that mentality of needing to take one stop, one score. And they're really converting their chances when they get down the other end, and turning those stops into scores has been really important and has led to them coming back to a 1-point deficit.
Yeah, 100%. They've really had to play this quarter. Ben Ware Drakeford sitting on the bench has really sort of taken all the play out of Rowville here, so be interesting to see. He was getting ready to check back in before that timeout was called, so we'll see what injection he can put back into the game.
Yeah, you'd expect there to be a bit of punch comes now from Ware Drakeford coming back in, but Berwick been really strong. Stocks has been sensational so far. 12 of the Berwick 21 have come from his hand. 6 boards to go with it.
So it's been all Berwick College so far this quarter. 7 points to 4 since quarter time. But also, they're just the shots that Rowville are taking aren't even there. They're extremely contested shots. So they're probably not the smartest shots they're taking at the moment, but they're just sort of panicking a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what they come out with, I'm sure. No doubt they've got a bit of a plan to come out of this ATO with some crisp offensive action on the back of this pair of free throws from McCormack. Here, over 4 minutes to go here in the second. You'd think that it's going to be imperative to try and go into the main change ahead if you're Berwick, and for Rowville, just try and extend that lead back out.
So with that first free throw being successful, ties the score up. Second attempt unsuccessful, and it will be a Rowville ball here. 4:09 remaining in the half. Scores all locked up.
Oh.
Lamanto gets it across to Ivy Jr. It was almost stolen there by McCormick. Back into Ware Drakeford. He kicks it back out there to Lamanto. Drives, kicks it out. Corner 3 from Ware Drakeford. Got him up in the air, but was unable to finish with the second attempt. Rebound there by Stocks.
That sort of dribble drive offense has been a bit of a staple of Rowville's teams of all age groups, and on both the men's and the women's side, or the boys and the girls' side. Beg your pardon.
So a lot in Vandenbrink, but just were on different pages there with that pass going out of bounds. Lamanto kicks across to Ware Drakeford. Defended by Olenbrink. Off to Ivy Jr. Ivy Jr. to Lamanto's 3-point bomb. Can't hit, sorry. McCormick now with the rebound. Kicks it ahead here to a lot. Back to McCormick running the floor, but it's active hands there by Ivy Jr. Off to Ware Drakeford, who has it. Slips on looked like a wet patch there on the court.
Yeah, I think that was a wet patch from Stocks going down.
It could have been really dangerous there. It's going to be a travelling violation. Ware Drakeford is furious at that call.
To the letter of the law, not wrong. He did travel. There wasn't any body contact that led to the violation. However, I would think that the most sensible, if we had a couple of sensible pills, I would think that probably a no call there is the best solution for all parties.
It could have been very dangerous for both Ware Drakeford and Stocks on the ground, but seems like a very, very harsh call, doesn't it?
Stocks, I don't think that Stocks was. I don't think Stocks was really thrilled with the treatment either. Just quietly, he wasn't a massive fan of the fact that Ware Drakeford came barreling in with a foot towards his head, but I don't think that was his fault.
No,
wrong time, wrong place.
And the Rowville head coach is not happy with the call at all. But you can't change the decision now, and it will be a Berwick ball being brought in here by Vandenbrink.
It's probably it's probably bailed him out somewhat, Berwick, because that was a wide open layup for Ware Drakeford, and he just does not miss those.
Across to McCormick now for Berwick. Over to Stocks. Being guarded by Ware Drakeford. Size differential there. Nice spin move there from Stocks and gets the foul on Ware Drakeford.
See you later. Just got Ware Drakeford leaning and felt that body contact on his right side, so spun back to the left, and he's going to go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, significant size disadvantage there, isn't it, for Ware Drakeford?
I don't mind that matchup ordinarily. Ware Drakeford, despite his size in terms of height, he's actually got a fair bit of physical nature about the way that he plays, and I really like that matchup. I think if someone's going to slow down Stocks, it's going to have to be Ware Drakeford. I don't think Ivy goes with him foot speed-wise.
And Stocks hits both of his attempts there, so that takes them out to a 2-point lead. Lamanto kicks it across to Ware Drakeford. Back to Lamanto. Nice crossover. Drives hard at the basket. Blocked from behind there by Johnson. But the ref has said that will be a foul on Caden Johnson, which is his first personal.
Lamanto did really well with the body control there to try and hang and fire, and just got hit right at the end of the play. Pretty good effort to control and try and get that up and in.
Caleb Lamanto's first attempt is good. .252 remaining in the half. 1-point lead here to Berwick. Lamanto misses the second rebound there from Caden Johnson. That's his fourth so far. Vandiker cut to the basket, but was chosen to go to Khan instead. Khan goes the long way around and gets the 2-point with the scoop layup there on the right side.
Really nice move to get separation on the defence.
Lamanto to Ware Drakeford. Back to Tian. Ivy Jr. pushes his way through. Active hands there from Berwick on 3-on-1. Comes back out to Tian now. Kicks it out. Ware Drakeford wide open 3 attempt is very, very long. Caden Johnson with his 5th rebound. Off to Stocks now. Logan Stocks. Another spin. Kicks out to Vandenbrink. Back to McCormick. Over to Caden Johnson now. To Turkan. Vandenbrink looks inside to Stocks. 2-on-1. Active hands there from Tian. Causes the strip. Colin Tian kicks it ahead. Ivkovic finds his way under the basket. Kicks it out here to Ben Ware Drakeford. Resetting the offense now. It's Colin Tian. Steps through. And he's going to be called for the travelling violation. Tried to step through where there wasn't a lot of room. Very good defense there by Berwick College.
Generally a crafty player, Colin Tian. He's part of that outfit in the National Junior Classic final a few months ago. Showing his craft today as well.
3-point attempt there was too long there from Logan Stocks. It'll be a jump ball, and possession is with Rowville. 1:23 remaining, 3-point ball game in favour of Berwick. Lamanto and Tian working in the backcourt. Lamanto off to Ware Drakeford, being guarded by Vandenbrink. Goes at Logan Stocks. Nice. 2-point attempt is unable to go. Logan Stocks kicks it ahead for Caden Johnson now, and he gets the transition basket out in the open. 2 points. Rowville can't drop their heads here. They're down to a 5-point deficit after being in front at quarter time. Ware Drakeford has at the top now. Into Lamanto. Tries to turn the corner, but Turkan's there. Great steal from Ollie Vandenbrink. His inside ball cut. 2 points finishing with Caden Johnson. Great play all round there, Berwick College.
Yeah, Berwick's willingness to do it on both ends puts them 7 up. Oh, and they're going to turn it over again here.
Colin Tian was able to save that turnover there. Caden Johnson is all of a sudden on 11 points and 5 rebounds. Vandenbrink with the 3 assists.
Oh, they almost turned it over again. Goodness.
Colin Tian now looking to have this as the last possession. Currently down by 7. Gives it off to Ware Drakeford. 3 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock.
Not the worst foul to give up there. You've still got 2 to the bonus, and he's going to end up with an end out, and you can kind of work with this if you're Berwick. 6 on the game.
That's Caden Johnson's second personal.
Oh, he's wide open.
Ivkovic, his 3-point attempt is long. Rebounded there by Stocks. He'll wait for the halftime buzzer. So the set play there didn't work for Rowville, and all of a sudden, after being down at quarter time, Berwick College hold a 7-point lead here at halftime.
Yeah, big first half for both teams. Scoring's at a premium right now. And both teams just fighting it out. A 7-point lead, as you mentioned. It's Berwick College who will head into the main change with a lead 30-23 back in about 5 minutes or so before the second half of play in this under 15 boys Champions Cup grand final. welcome back to Nunawading. It's Champions Cup Grand Final Sunday. You're with us here for the under-15 boys Grand Final. Half time, it's Berwick College, beg your pardon, leading Rowville Secondary College 30 to 23. Jack Thornton, Tony White alongside me. And Tone, the first half can be really clearly broken up into two parts. You've got the Stocks and Johnson show on the Berwick side, and Ware Drakeford doing the job for Rowville on their side of the floor.
Yeah, look, it was a huge second quarter there for Berwick College, coming out scoring 16 points to 5 in that second quarter. That's a huge disadvantage there for Rowville, and Ware Drakeford really went out of it in that second quarter, but Stocks and Caden Johnson really popped up there in that second quarter and just kept on putting the pressure on. So they did fight back after an initial first quarter deficit. And the Rowville coach was not happy with a few of the calls, especially that travelling violation there as Ware Drakeford, was going to an open basket and slipped on the floor. So, look, they've got to start worrying back more about what's on the floor rather than the officials' calls.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Berwick second quarter, more broadly and holistically speaking, they just were able to do a job. We mentioned at quarter time that there was 6 individual scorers to 2. They were able to do a job and held all of those 6 in check. What do you think they need to do now, Rowville, to try and get over the hump of that Berwick defence?
Well, quite a few times it looked like Tian, Lamanto and even Ware Drakeford were trying to step through traffic where there was no gap rather than kicking it out to their open teammates. Because if there's 3 inside the key, there's got to be 2 open shooters somewhere. So they've got to look more for their teammates, like they did in that first quarter where they had the spread of shooters. In the second quarter, it felt a bit more like they all wanted to try and do it all themselves rather than try and use their teammates. So I'll be looking back into that strategy.
Not far from a start here in the third quarter of play in this under-15 boys Champions Cup Grand Final. It's Rowville Secondary and Berwick College battling it out. 7-point advantage to Berwick as it stands. It'll be Berwick to inbound, playing away to the right in their clash white uniforms, and Rowville in their what you'd consider to be their traditional brown and sky blue. We're underway here in the third.
First 3-ball attempt is good there from Logan Stocks, who shows the crowd the 3 fingers as well. So that's definitely not what the Rowville coaching staff would have wanted to start off the second half.
No, and Stocks a threat, omnipotent from both inside and out.
Ware Drakeford now kicks it out to Lamanto, steps inside. His 2-point attempt is long and rebounded there by Caden Johnson. So Johnson and Stocks, the stars of the first half, have come out strong in this second half as well. Vandenbrink's 2-point attempt can't go, and Carnes with the rebound. Off to Lamanto, who now kicks it ahead to Colin Tian. Back to Lamanto now, calling for Ivy Jr. to come at him. Sets the screen on McCormick. Lamanto puts himself in trouble, kicks it back out there to Tian. Ware Drakeford drives hard in the basket, now kicks it out to Ivy. Ivy's 3-point attempt is up, but no, doesn't fall. Another rebound there goes to Caden Johnson. That's his 7th so far. McCormick off to Vandenbrink. Drives hard in the baseline, but stopped well there by Ware Drakeford. Back to McCormick. Up to Slater. Stocks already has 1-3 this quarter. Returns the ball there to Johnson, who wasn't overly aware that ball was coming at him. Goes to Vandenbrink, off to Slater. Shot clock counting down. Johnson's going to have to put up a 3. No, he kicks it back to Slater. Slater's 3-point attempt unsuccessful.
Slater uncharacteristically off the mark from 3 today. It's yet to connect on his 5 attempts.
Tian now has the ball, kicks it across to Ware Drakeford. Top of the key. Drives hard at the basket. There is that 3-on-1. Now he kicks it out to Carnes. Carnes now takes him on. Drives hard in the basket and gets a nice 2-runner to fall.
Yeah, Ware Drakeford just so intelligent, moving the ball through hands, and that Rowville offense, we discussed it earlier. That dribble drive and being able to find open guys in corners.
Stocks with a nice inside ball there to Josh Slater, who hits the reverse layup. Lamanto now kicks out to Tian. Across to Ivy Jr. Sets it off for the screen for Ware Drakeford. Indecision, kicks it now out to Tian with a 3-point wide open attempt and misses everything there. Logan Stocks, another rebound. That takes him up to 9. Slater almost slips there. Back to Stocks. Stocks pulls up for another three.
A lot of contact.
A lot of contact. Gets his own rebound. That will not be happy there. Will be the Rowville coach. Slater goes for the 3-point set. Finally hits one now. Josh Slater, 38-25. Berwick College leading Rowville.
Yeah, there's that Slater 3 ball that we know that he's able to line up and put down. Been looking for that all game.
Where Drakeford now kicks it out looking for Carnes. Defended well there by Stocks. Gets the deflection where Drakeford drives at it, and it's going to be a foul, and it's going to be on Caden Johnson. That's his third.
Probably a bit stiff, Caden Johnson. I thought he was quite late coming across to that piece, but no, clearly the refs were of the opinion that someone was going against the big 42 from Berwick.
If you're the Rowville coach and Logan Stocks has a 3-point attempt and he's the first one to rebound that ball that falls at the ring, what do you say to your defenders there?
It's just a coach killer. The missed box outs are non-negotiable in the defensive end. You should have 5 to try and prevent the defensive rebound, or beg your pardon, try and prevent the offensive rebound. You just cannot have a situation where you've got, a bit of Angel Reese play almost, where it's a missed shot and rebound your own shot and then put it back up and miss it again and rebound your own shot. You just can't have it. It's just not something that you can, and I don't think that Rowville's coach will tolerate that moving forward. I wouldn't mind tipping that there'll be a bit of a conversation next time there's a game break.
And we mentioned in the start of the game that the height actually is with Rowville, so for that to lose that box out, that's poor there. Where Drakeford's first attempt gets a lucky bounce there.
Stocks the preeminent big on the floor, but just by committee, you would think with Douglas and Ivy and Sikander Jarge has just come into the game as well. You would think that with the three of them, they'll be able to take care of Stocks.
Where Drakeford misses the second. Rebound goes there to Stocks. That's his double-double there. Vandenbrink through the legs. Kicks it back out to McCormick. McCormick now inside ball to Slater all alone. He gets the two underneath the basket. Well done, Connor McCormick.
Just so smart, so intelligent. Able to see the floor so well is Connor McCormick.
Where Drakeford now calling for Ivy to come up to set the screen. He does that but Stocks and Vandenbrink are there to double team him. Inside ball's turned over there, Connor McCormick. Where Drakeford, that was not great decision. He's going to be called for a flop warning there, and Logan Stocks gives it to him as well. Logan Stocks not happy with the flop there from Ware Drakeford. And he's going to sit down. Logan Stocks, 19 points to go with his 12 boards.
Stocks has been dominating this Rowville defense. They've had no answers. They haven't got the size or the speed to go with his almost unicorn-like athleticism.
Spinning there, kicking the ball out. Was Jarge.
Nice move.
Nice spin move there from Ivy Jr. Gets the 2 points. 14-point deficit here for Rowville.
And Joe Ivy just too fleet of foot there to get around the traffic and put it up and in.
Vandenbrink off to McCormick. Being guarded there by Ivkovic. Sends it back out to Takan. Takan's 3-point attempt doesn't go and will be a Rowville ball. 3:27 remaining in the third.
Violation off the ring support there, and Jesus, warning bells sounding everywhere if you're in the Rowville camp. 14 points in arrears.
Jarge has it now. Nice hesitation dribble, kicks it out into the corner. Ivkovic loses control there. Takan takes away the ball. Off to McCormick. His inside ball is deflected there by Joe Ivy. Nice active hands there on the defensive end.
Yeah, did well to break even there, Rowville. I think the deflection was probably the best they could have hoped for. I thought that there might have been an opportunity to really sling that ball ahead and try and get, I think it was Vandenbrink that was in the open floor.
The Vandenbrink's 2 misses. Ivkovic now brings the ball up the court. Joe Ivy from Jarge. Douglas spinning. Douglas now in the 3-point corner. Doesn't get the ball to fall. Ivkovic with the offensive board. Kicks out to Joe Ivy. Joe Ivy hits a 3. That's his second of the night. Back to an 11-point ball game.
Screaming out for a hero there, Rowville, and sure enough, it comes in the form of Big Joe Ivy.
Takan, his ball is thrown away Rowville get the stop thereafter. Bit of live coming from the bench now. Vlado Ivkovic off to Joe Ivy. Jarge spinning, loses control. It's a steal there going to Logan Stocks. That's going to be a poor foul on Jarge.
You can't, if you're a Rowville player, or any player for that matter, you just can't compound a mistake with another mistake. That's unfortunately what Sikander Jarge has committed there.
So Connor McCormick will inbound the ball. Back to Vandenbrink. Slater now has it. Goes to the top for Stocks. Stocks goes for the three-point attempt. In and out.
Nice box out.
Rebounded there by Noble. Across now to Ivkovic. Fast pace up the court. Loses control of it, but will get the foul. Going to go on Connor McCormick. That'll be his second personal. So Jarge inbounding the ball.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that was very, very lucky there. Ivkovic keeps it in. Joe Ivy goes for three from the corner. Can't hit. Rebound there from McCormick. Throws it ahead. Turnover though. Joe Ivy now's got the ball. Open court. What's he going to do? Nice spin move. Puts it up. Can't get the flow to go. Gets the offensive board. Blocked from behind from Vandenbrink. He now kicks it ahead here to Yule. Yule is stripped of the ball. And there's going to be a foul called, and the Rowville bench do not like that call at all. It's going to go on Ivkovic.
And a tee.
A technical foul as well.
That's going to go against
That's got to go against Ivkovic as well, so he's going to go straight to 2 fouls.
That'll be his third. Oh no, beg your pardon, it will be his second. You're quite right.
So Logan Stocks will take the tech foul. And can't get it to fall. Stocks now. Second attempt is good.
Yeah, it's another one of those coach killers, and I just spoke about Jarge and compounding mistakes with another mistake. And I think Ivkovic is probably in that category as well. You cannot back up a regular foul with a tee straight off the back of it. There's just no need for it.
And Rowville were on a bit of a run there. Had a couple stops in a row.
A couple of stops, but
and
still
then
a 12-point game.
Yeah. McCormick now. Driving hard.
Oh.
Kicks out the back. I think it was might have been an accident from Vandenbrink. Stocks drives hard on Ivy. Ivy strips the ball clean there. Stocks doesn't agree. Ivy, very good defense there.
Stocks had a bit of feedback for Noble, who gave him a serve as he walked up the court too.
Ivkovic now off to Jarge.
Getting very testy.
Jarge, that's a deep three. Can't hit. Rebound there by McCormick.
I don't know that's the type of shot you're looking for if you're Rowville. That's early shot clock, uncontested. I don't think that's the one you should be looking for.
And that pass from Stocks was not great there. Turned over. Ivkovic going to drive hard in the basket and gets the 2. So a bit of energy now is sprung into Rowville. Back to a 10-point deficit. McCormick off to Stocks. Pulling up there was off-field. Doesn't take the shot. Goes back to McCormick. Vandenbrink, inside ball. McCormick's shot is blocked, and that's going to come off Berwick College. Another stop there in a row. Substitutions sitting down will be Jarge, and incoming Ben Ware-Drakeford. So they've got some momentum here. Rowville, what can they do with it?
Pretty handy change going Jarge for Ware-Drakeford. And here is that man. Tough.
Ivkovic, very nice. 5 seconds remaining. Logan Stocks going to have the last one. Double dribble. Stocks was in 2 minds there.
I think they're going to put a couple of seconds back on the clock here, potentially. Yeah, they're going to have a chat about it now at mid-court. Currently showing 5/10 on the game. Let's see what they put back on here. No, nothing. No, not going to put a second on. Rowville don't like it. Ivkovic to inbound. Ooh, just going to be off the roof. Or maybe off the hop and in.
So that is three-quarter time. And it is an 8-point ball game. So fought back late there was Rowville. Got some stops on the defensive end. We're able to control the ball a little bit more there. So what do we do from here?
Well, Berwick would have been screaming out for that quarter to end as soon as it could. They were in big, big trouble with that Rowville run. They've chopped it back down to an 8-point advantage, as you mentioned, but the burning question is going to be where do we go from here in terms of Berwick and their stops? Like, I just think that Stocks has had 20 points on the offensive end, but not really given them a whole lot defensively. My burning question would be, from the Rowville standpoint, can you regenerate that momentum you just got before the change? I think where Drakeford coming back into the game at the end of that quarter was enormous. You know, the last minute of play, they were able to generate another 2 turnovers, and they almost got a really good attempt. They got a clean look with 0.5 on the clock. Maybe there should have been another couple of seconds, which would have potentially helped out the Rowville cause there, but geez, we've got a tantalising fourth quarter coming up, 8 points, and geez, I don't know which way this one's going to end up. I think the first 3 minutes are going to be crucial of this quarter.
So even that, we're talking about Rowville coming back with momentum there. Berwick still win the quarter, 13 points to 12.
Wow.
But,
I mean,
so they kicked out early. That's where Rowville come right back, but they still won the quarter.
On the eye test, it certainly didn't feel that way.
Too. I was making sure my math was right there, and I've checked it a few times, and yes, it's 13 points to 12 that quarter.
Oh, well, you could have knocked me down with a feather when you said that, but just as I glanced at it, Stocks leads all comers with 20, Johnson's got 11, and then you're going out to Ivy, who hit those 2 big threes, who's got 8 on the Rowville side and leads their scoring attempts. I think they've got to keep him in the game, but I don't know where his matchup is on the defensive end. Had a really good effort before where he stripped the ball out of the hands of Stocks under the basket. Wow, we've got a good finish coming up. Cannot wait.
Well, Ware Drakeford inbounds the ball here to Ivkovic. Ivkovic back to Ware Drakeford. Into Joe Ivy, back to Ware Drakeford in the corner. His 3 attempt is not good.
Nice ball.
Offensive board though, and 2 points goes to Leon Noble. 6-point ball game.
You can't get sloppy now if you're Berwick. You cannot not have attention to detail with their box outs and getting on defensive glass.
Caden Johnson drives at the basket, but he's stopped there. Kicks it back out to McCormick. McCormick now it's a Turkan. Turkan's 3-point ball. Doesn't go. Rebound Ware Drakeford. He kicks it ahead here. Noble's got the open look. Can he get it to fall? Yes, he can. Timeout. Berwick College. 4 points to 0 run so far to start the quarter. He said the first 3 minutes will be crucial.
Try the first 45 seconds. Goodness me, Rowville have come out in the absolute hottest of forms at the start of this third period. And if you're Berwick College, you're down there just begging your team for a bit of poise and patience here. I just don't see that this current way that the game is going is going to lead to a happy ending for them. I just see that they've got to take care of the ball a little bit more. Where that comes from, I don't quite know. But
well, Leon Noble, he's on 6 points, but he scored the 4 in this quarter. So, you know, and one of his 3 rebounds has been in this quarter as well. So he's definitely come out on fire, Leon Noble.
Absolutely, and I think in general, like, that Ivkovic 3 went down, it would have just about brought the house down. Oh well, we'll persist. It's a 4-point game. We've played 32 seconds here. And that Berwick College lead has gone from 8 to 4. Doesn't bode well for the boys in white.
Oh, it will be a Berwick College ball from the baseline. Stocks will bring it in. Inbounds to McCormick. Being guarded by Ivkovic. Where Drakeford went for the steal. Over across the Turkan to Stocks. Stocks versus Ivy. Out to McCormick in the corner. Tries to put a spin move on, but where Drakeford pushes him away. Vandenbrink now goes at the basket. Stop, twist, turns, 2-point goes. Ollie Vandenbrink.
great poise, Vandenbrink, to be able to spin and elevate for that turnaround jump shot. Very few defenders going to be able to take care of that one.
Where Drakeford now has it across to Douglas, over to Noble. Noble stripped of the ball, and it will be a turnover.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be reversed. It was definitely tipped away there from McCormick.
I don't actually think he was trying to question that. I think it was more the secondary tip. Oh, they're going to get it back
throwing the ball away here, and Connor McCormick is going to have the open basket.
And one.
Gets the and one. Noble not happy with the call.
No, he's got no leg to stand on there. That was sensational play. Well done by McCormick to be able to get that scoop up, and he just got it away from Noble. Noble had to go across his body to try and hack it away.
Yeah, he used his body really well to protect the ring, didn't he? There was no way Noble could defend that.
That's a veteran play, that one.
But Takan will sit down, and in will come Josh Slater. So for the three-point play. McCormick hits. That's what they needed. Just a little settler to start the last quarter. Out to a 9-point ball game. Ivkovic back to Ivy. Up the top to Douglas. Where Drakeford now. Just skirting the perimeter.
Oh,
Noble pulls up for the three.
Ooh.
In and out, and Slater with the rebound. It was a nice look though, wasn't it?
Caught the Rowville bench to its feet. Now the other way. Stocks for three.
All of a sudden, that sucks the momentum straight out of Rowville. Where Drakeford, what can he do to ignite the team? Steps through the traffic, gets the foul. And it will go on Vandenbrink, who was very polite there to make sure the foul went on him and not Caden Johnson.
That's a vet move. Just got to put your hand up and make sure.
Well, Caden Johnson was on three, so he definitely didn't want him on four.
Fair amount of applause there for Ivkovic coming off then. And he's done a great job on the defensive end. Going to see if his replacement, Lamato, is able to do the job.
Trying to direct some traffic here. Kicks it across to Ware Drakeford. Double teamed. Kicks it back out to Lamato. Reaching in there was Stocks, can't strip it away.
Nice
Knocked forward there by Douglas. Where Drakeford can't trap it. Kicked ahead by Johnston to Slater. Slater with the open transition bucket, 2 points. Timeout, Rowville. So it was a huge opening to the quarter here from Rowville, and Berwick College have gone bang, bang, bang.
How things can change in 2 minutes of basketball. Rowville went from being in the box seat. They split the lead in half from Berwick. Then Berwick has just, the cream's just risen to the top. Stocks, Slater. You know, what pressure? Pressure's for tyres. They've just come out and just gone whack, whack.
Caden Johnson was huge defensively there as well. Secured the rebound, kicked it ahead to Slater. That's really a heads-up play.
Oh, sensational job to be able to keep the play alive and get out in the open floor. And in essence, it's almost put the game to bed. It's now a 14-point advantage. It's just about their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, just a minute ago, we were talking about it was a 4-point ball game when Berwick called for the timeout. So whatever the timeout worked, obviously for Berwick, not so much here for Rowville as they stopped all momentum. Let's see what the Rowville coaches can do here to get them back in this ball game.
See what the Rowville coaches can draw up. I would have to think the ball's going to have to go through Ware Drakeford's hands. Perhaps you get Ivy on a three again. You know, you've got plenty of scoring chances there. You're long enough that you're able to be disruptive in passing lanes and really get busy on the defensive end. Maybe it's trying to drive a bit more tempo and pace and get the ball out on the floor a bit more. I'd
be looking to also bring Ivkovic back on the court. He was instrumental at the start there. They took him off for Lamanto, and all of a sudden, Berwick College just started to kick away again.
Did I miss something that Colin Tiarn's hurt? Has he not been in the game because he got banged up somewhere?
I'm not sure. He's there. He doesn't seem to be nursing any injury, but he's gone to the back of the bench, so not exactly sure there. Lamanto kicks it ahead here to Ware Drakeford. Over to the top to Noble. Noble pulls up for the three.
No,
can't hit.
That's not it. That's not the one that you need.
Connor McCormick secures the rebound across to Stocks. Stocks now gets up ahead of steam. Charges straight at all the defense. Stopped well there was by Douglas. Lamanto now kicks head to Ware Drakeford. Nice crossover on McCormick. Finishes with the two.
Yeah, good defense, better offense. Just able to get to the middle of the court there and finish.
Connor McCormick finds Slater in the open court, and that foul is going to go on Joe Ivy.
Yeah, Ivy was willing to just put the body on the line and just take one of his own there. Didn't have any to that point, so his first. He nailed him too, for what it's worth. Tried to make him earn it.
Josh Slater hits the first. And hits the second there. The scoreboard's been put on the wrong score, unfortunately, here. So that should be a 55-41 lead. Lamanto pulls up from the elbow with the 2 points. Gets it to go. Vandenbrink, Slater. Good defense from Ware Drakeford. Finally gets over the half court just in time, but they've thrown the ball away. There was Caden Johnson.
It's lazy from Berwick. You just need to take some time off the clock there, get some good offense going, and you throw the ball away. You just cannot do that.
Ware Drakeford now pulls up for the three. Can't get it to go, and Slater secures the rebound.
A lot of contact being let go at the moment.
McCormick kicks it ahead here to Slater. Slater now over to Caden Johnson. Kicks it back out, Stocks wide open, doesn't take the three, drives instead. Kicks it out to McCormick. McCormick's three doesn't go. Rebound secured there by Ivy Jr. Lamanto pulls up from a deep three, Lamanto, and doesn't score at all.
It's a low IQ shot, that one. You're 2 seconds into an offensive set, or let's say 4 seconds will be a little bit more generous. You're pulling up for a 50-foot three. Like, I just don't see that that's conducive to good offense when you're in the position that you're in.
Collins Yarn back into the game now. Where Drakeford gets active hands in there. Can't secure the steal, though.
Dear.
Another thrown away pass there by McCormick. Where Drakeford being very good there on defense.
Fired up here, Rowville. 12 points in arrears.
Let's hope Lamanto can secure this with a bit better offensive set than he did last time. Drives straight at the basket, no one there. Puts up the 2-point hook shot, doesn't get it to fall. Option was right. McCormick there, pushes through Ivy. Off Lamanto, goes off to Vandenbrink. Out to Slater. Slater's three-point attempt is good. And that could be all she wrote now. 15-point ball game, 3.5 to play.
Spoken all game about Slater and his offensive ability from three. His active hands, defensive stop there. Vandenbrink. Exceptional work to swat at that ball and keep it, or get it to Berwick colours, but I'm just saying that Josh Slater and his proficiency from three, it's been missing so far this game, but able to go and knock down a massive three to just about put this one to bed, as a foul's going to get called on Licky Licky.
So considering some of the calls they've let go this quarter, I thought it was a very soft call, but Josh Slater all of a sudden now up to 14 points. Caden Johnson turns the corner. Doesn't get the floater to go. Secured the rebound now is Ware Drakeford. 2v3. Pulls up, kicks it across to Licky Licky. He doesn't take the shot. He's now kicked it back out to Douglas. Licky Licky underneath the basket. Been in there a long time. That's going to be a foul. Jump ball. I thought that he had his arm there, Vandenbrink.
Yeah, pretty tough one if you're in a Rowville uniform. It looked like a big handful of arms, but nice D. Ware Drakeford with the charge.
Yeah, he had to be careful there where Drakeford's already had the flop warning, so he had to make sure he took that charge fine.
You could see that one coming a mile away. He wasn't happy with the treatment on the jump ball, and he looked like he was just about to run through a brick wall. Was Ben Ware Drakeford.
Tian off to Lamanto, pulls up for another deep three, straight on this time, uses the backboard. All of a sudden, 12-point ball game. Caden Johnson's been trapped here. Good defense, Rowville, but they've turned it back over. Vandenbrink tries to kick it ahead. Licky Licky gets in there now. He secures the steal. He's passed, almost picked off there by McCormick.
Hot footy.
Lamanto kicks it off into Ware Drakeford in the corner. Works his way through the traffic and gets the foul. Will go to the line for two. Strong play there from Ware Drakeford. That's going to go on Caden Johnson. That's going to be his fourth, I think.
Yeah, it is indeed. McCormick's going to take a seat and Turkin's going to come back onto the floor.
So Ware Drakeford trying to will his team back into this. Nails the first.
For all this back and forth, it's feeling like Rowville's on top. They're passing the eye test, but still only a 10-point game. Like, they've made all these inroads and they've only picked up a 2-point advantage.
Oh, another thrown away pass there from Turkan. Steal was from Tian. He pulls up now, kicks it out to Ware Drakeford. A wide open 3 attempt, in and out. Rebound secured there by Caden Johnson. Turkan goes back to Johnston here. Full court press is now on. Logan Stocks has it. Tries to find Vandenbrink in the open pass. He's secured, loses the ball. Picked off there by Douglas. Caden Johnson can't secure the steal, and it'll be a Rowville ball in the back court. So all of a sudden the tempo has risen to sky highs.
Yeah, it feels like it's dialed up about 4 notches.
10-point ball game, 1:58 remaining on the clock. Tian inbounds it here to Lamanto. Lamanto back to Douglas. Douglas straight on 3. Attempt is short.
That's not the one. That's not the one if you're Rowville.
Rowville coach calling for the full court press. And he's going to be a timeout here, and he's going the way of Berwick. So they're going to want to try and slow this down, make sure the team's aware of what's happening here on the defensive end for Rowville.
Yeah, just a steadying timeout now for Berwick. I think that they're just going to look to just make sure that they know that everyone's on the same page. Like, Rowville have just been manic with their pressure the last 5 minutes. And even though they haven't really made the inroads on the scoreboard, they might have hoped. It's been the pressure that's put them in a position to even look to make inroads. So just got to be so careful right now. If you're Berwick, this could easily go 1, 2, 3 in and be very close. But for Rowville, you've just got to get up the floor and just try and get in passing lanes, be disruptive. You've got 2 fouls to give, so you may as well give them.
It was an 8-point lead to Berwick College at three-quarter time. It's now to a 10-point lead, but as you said, feeling and watching the game, if you weren't aware of the score, you'd think that Rowville's like right on top here, but they've actually lost this quarter by 2 points again. So when Berwick get on a little run, they put some score on the scoreboard, and it just takes Rowville just a little bit too much longer to try and peg that score back.
Yeah, eye test wise, it's really not. It doesn't seem how it actually is. So, no, well, we'll see how we go here. 1:53 left in this one, and Berwick will get it going here on the baseline.
Oh, almost picked off again there by Ware Drakeford. Has caused a turnover. Lamanto can't hit the wide open layup.
You just have to make that.
Vandenbrink now kicks it ahead to Caden Johnson.
Oh, they're out.
4-on-1. Turkan goes to Stocks underneath the basket, and one opportunity. Lamanto went for the steal. Stocks stayed down, wore the contact, and was strong enough to finish off with the 2 points.
Yeah, just too easy. Logan Stocks, they did a great job, Berwick, of getting through the pressure. They held their poise, they held their nerve, and at the end of the day, they ended up getting the ball in the right person's hands. He's able to go to the line and make it a 3-point play.
And secures the 3-point play, so that's going to hurt. Lamanto now trying to push with pace. Pulls up again for another deep 3. Hasn't worked for him all game, and still doesn't work. Vandenbrink secures the rebound. Kicks ahead to Stocks. Oh, big contact there from Blake Douglas on Stocks. Fair attempt there from Douglas. Wanted that ball.
Stocks is going to walk the length of the floor here. I reckon that's going to be their 5th team foul.
Stocks knew it. No one else on the court knew it, but Stocks knew.
Good game awareness.
Yeah, 26 points to go with 12 rebounds. Logan Stocks hits the first. Been a huge game from him.
Yeah, 27 and 12 now. Getting the lights out from the foul line too.
To make this a 15-point ball game, yes he does. 15 points with 1.5 minutes to go. Ware Drakeford now. Over to Licky. Lamanto pulls up for another 3. Another air ball there, picked up by Johnson for the rebound. Off to Stocks. Stocks slips, needs some help there. Licky pulls in. Going to be a jump ball, and it's going to go the way of Rowville.
Just lost the footing there, and it's just unfortunate that it was right at that point in time where the double team came.
So in comes Ivkovic, sitting down will be Lamanto. Shooting at 25% so far tonight, Lamanto. Most of those have been deep, deep threes. Speaking of deep threes, where Drakeford goes up from real deep. Can't hit. Josh Slater secures the rebound. Kicks it ahead to Vandenbrink. Vandenbrink now, he's trapped. And that's going to be a foul call on Rowville. It's going to go on Tian. Vandenbrink will go to the line now. Ollie Vandenbrink.
Yeah, I think it's good night nurse now for Rowville.
Feels like he's done a lot more than what the stat sheet says here. 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists and 2 points. First attempt is no good. He's only shooting at 17% for tonight.
Just the type of player that his impact goes beyond the score sheet. He's just able to be a steadying presence on the offensive end, and on the defensive end he's able to lock in, and as evidence.
Josh Slater gets the offensive rebound on the second attempt. That's poor there by Rowville. He then puts it away. And a steal from Caden Johnson, who's going to go the length of the floor. Can't get the layup to fall. 45 seconds to go. Licky now has the ball tapped away from Turkan. Where Drakeford, another deep three, uses the backboard, can't hit. Logan Stocks with another rebound. That takes him to 13 on the night.
Oh, man.
Surely this is too long in the backcourt. The ref said no. Kicks it ahead to Caden Johnson. 2 points doesn't fall. Blake Douglas gets the rebound now for Rowville. Kicks it ahead to Tian. Tian.
Nice D.
Great block there from Vandenbrink. Unlucky the ball fell back into Tian's hands. But Vandenbrink, well done. Shot clock turned off now. This is going to be a Berwick College win. Vandenbrink will dribble the ball out. 65-50. Your winners today. Berwick College. And the MVP, you would think, was going to go to Logan Stocks with 28 points and 13 rebounds.
Yeah, comfortably Stocks' game. He was the difference in this one. Ultimately, Berwick too good in the end for Rowville. As you say, it was a 15-point win in the end that really felt a lot closer than it was for a lot of that second half, but ultimately Berwick a class above, and it was Logan Stocks that led the way. The Stocks definitely rose for Berwick in this one. Champions Cup under 15 boys going the way of Berwick College.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, the eye test didn't reflect anywhere near what the scoreboard did. For so long of that game, we thought Rowville was coming and coming and coming, but when you looked at the score sheet, Berwick were just edging further and further away. So they've secured victory today in the second of our grand finals here on Championship Cup Sunday. So I suppose we'll have a break and come back for the third of the 6 games.
Back at it shortly. It's been a great couple of games to start us off, and be back in the next 5 or so minutes for game 3 in our 6-game slate today, which will be under 17 girls, Rowville and Western Heights. See you shortly.